in the Bank 2023. I think it was a good show. What do you reckon, Sam?
Shit.
You like it?
That's good. It was a good show, wasn't it?
You were disappointed by a few things.
There were a couple of things that were pretty stupid. Like
Yeah.
the Shayna thing that I thought was pretty stupid.
Yeah, it wasn't a perfect show, but I still think it's definitely a good show overall. Wish we'd been there in person.
Yeah, but the tickets were fucking stupid.
They were stupid prices.
Stupid.
But-
And I'm not going to lie, that I know like British crowds are meant to be amazing. They annoyed me a bit with their chanting. It was the first time like I watched a British show where they've annoyed me.
Yeah,
Their chants.
it was very different when we were there for Clash at the Castle.
Yeah. But it annoyed me a little bit then, if you remember.
Yeah,
I think it's because I'm quite a grumpy person, but I don't know. I get used to the American crowds, and like you can complain that they're dead, but I feel like there's an in between from the American dead crowds and the really annoying British crowds, and you can imagine the people that think they're hilarious, but really they're just dorks. They're fucking weird.
Well, let's hit that intro jingle, and then we can go through all the matches and talk about what we thought.
Does Agent know what the intro jingle is?
You listen to the podcast.
Let's jump in there.
I went to say who we were then, and I went to say, I'm Sav, his there was like, that's the wrong way around.
That's the wrong way around.
I'm David, his Sam. We're joined from a distance by Aiden. You might hear him in the background.
I love studio audience. Let's jump in with the matches then. Show started with the men's Money in the Bank match.
Yeah, expecting to start with the Money in the Bank when you got two of them. You have enough time to let some of the spots settle before you see another repeat sort of thing.
Yeah.
Really good match, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
We watched the first Money in the Bank before, just as a bit of a recap.
Better than that, I'd say.
And I think they've perfected it a little bit more over the years.
Mm-hmm.
Even if some of the spots didn't quite work out, Logan Paul and Ricochet kind of salvaged a spot that they kind of messed up on.
Yeah.
I've seen some of the interviews with both talking about it afterwards, and Logan Paul going into details a little bit about what went wrong. And
Well, they meant to land on the top rope.
1 foot on the top rope, 1 foot on the ladder, and Ricochet hit the rope first and moved it, so Logan Paul slips. And then he's in that brief moment, he said he just looks at Ricochet to position himself. He's like, oh, we're still doing this.
Yeah.
Ricochet just goes for it.
They made the most of it.
Yeah.
It still looked good. If anything, I think it made it look better because it wasn't so polished.
Yeah, it's one of those.
More of a shocking moment.
It's one of those mistakes where it's rather than something going wrong, it just made it look a little bit more real because it's not perfect.
Ricochet had another moment where I was like nearly out of my seat, where he jumped through the ladder and over the top rope. Like, fuck, I've never seen anything like that before. It's crazy. And now it's obviously leading into Logan against Ricochet at SummerSlam, which I think is
Could be a hell of a match.
Yeah, sure. It gives Ricochet that platform at like the top level. You see the pull apart that they had as well
Yeah,
on Raw. Or after, no, I think it was after Money in the Bank.
yeah, it was like a behind the
Yeah.
scenes sort of thing, wasn't it?
Looked good. It did look good. So
What do you think about the winner?
it makes sense.
It does. I've seen a lot of people disappointed it wasn't LA Knight, but
Yeah, I am disappointed it wasn't LA Knight, but you can see why they've picked Priest.
yeah,
They've obviously got like the tensions going on in Judgment Day.
there's a storyline they've already got an idea for, and he definitely deserved some reward after Backlash earlier this year.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm happy to see him win it.
Yeah. I think LA Knight needs to take the US title off of Austin Theory.
Yeah,
I think that's the route you go with LA Knight.
I could see that. Like, it is disappointing he didn't win, but I mean, even he's referenced that there's people backstage that aren't particularly keen on him. I think we can all guess who that is. But yeah,
Times with Ince McMahon.
yes, Dick Dastardly himself. But yeah, I mean, decent winner, fair enough. We move on.
Good opener as well.
Yeah, exactly. Let's talk about the women's Money in the Bank while we're talking about Money in the Banks. A bit clunky
I think
at best.
they've always kind of struggled a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's to do with them being a lot lighter, a lot smaller. Some of the spots don't have as much of an impact. It's just physically that's a slight limitation, but I think they made the most of it, and I think compared to some years, I don't think it showed up as much this time.
I love Trish, right? And she was great for her time. She was like one of the best of her time. But it shows how much they've transitioned, and how much they've got better, I should say.
Yeah.
In ring, because she sort of looks, stuck out like a sore thumb for me. Like she was falling down the ladder, climbing up and stuff, and botching things. Like she's still great. Like she's still great, but yeah, it does move on. It kind of annoys me, like how they book her in a way, because she's like 47, right, and this legend.
Yeah.
She's in this feud with Becky Lynch now, and in theory, that should be the biggest star of one generation against the biggest star of another generation. Kind of like, if you want to book it that way, Cena Rock, right? The women's equivalent. But it doesn't feel like that. It feels dead.
WWE have always struggled with their women's division.
Yeah.
It's nothing new. I mean, you say like it's Cena Rock equivalent, but like Trish was the biggest female star of her generation, but she wasn't anywhere near the Rock's level. And Becky is you could argue is the biggest women's star of the current generation. I think some fans might disagree with that, but she's still not on Cena's level.
But that's the problem. It shouldn't be like that.
I think it's to an extent always going to have that problem how wrestling is perceived. I don't think it's just WWE that needs to have to change that. I think
it fits into a bigger problem that Triple H is just not booking the women very well at all.
I don't think it's a WWE. I don't think it's a wrestling thing. I think that's a sport thing. Like if you look across the board at sports, women's sports are perceived as less than men's sports. I don't think that's something that WWE themselves can fix. I think a global effort needs to be.
They did well in NXT though.
Yeah.
The women were the best player about NXT.
Yeah, the Kill Horsewomen.
Horsewomen. Anyway, we're done.
We could talk for hours about that.
Let's talk about the actual match itself. So obviously Io Sky won. Definitely the right winner for me.
Yeah, loved the spot as well.
The finish.
Yeah, I loved it.
Handcuffs, yeah.
You can kind of see something happening with those handcuffs the moment they were introduced, but the way they did it, I think was pretty good.
It's pretty cool. Do you think this leads into the Damage Control breakup?
Almost certainly.
Yeah.
Bailey has tried to cost Io the match, and Io has literally cost Bailey the match by handcuffing her.
Yeah.
It's got a following. Whether they can kind of hold it off a little bit until Dakota Kai is ready to come back to perform, or at least ready to be back on TV. Because I think her presence will really amplify that story a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm also really glad that that Io is now the second longest running winning the match. She didn't cash in on the first night. She didn't cash in on Raw.
There was a bit where I was scared that she was going to cash in on Raw because they did that Natalya match, Natalya doing one good match every 7 years. And there was like a bit where I thought, well, this is like leading to something. Could it actually be Io?
We're recording before SmackDown, but fingers crossed she also doesn't cash in on SmackDown.
I really wouldn't put it past him. Another spot in that match I want to just mention is the Zelina Vega on Zoe Stark, the code red off the ladder onto the other ladder. That looked brutal as hell. Yeah. It looked like Zoe Stark got her head stuck in the ladder.
Yeah. Thankfully, I think she hits the ladder and then gets stuck rather than get stuck as she's hitting it. But
it's part of the match for sure.
Yeah. Not that. I think it stands out just because of seeing her with her head stuck, but
yeah, it was awesome. Let's move on. Intercontinental Championship match: Gunther against Matt Riddle.
It was kind of what I expected the match to be, which unfortunately wasn't quite as good as it probably should have been. They're both quite talented, and there was some interesting choices. I did find it really funny. I think we joked about it the other night. The chops to the foot for Riddle, and then the quite quick tap out. I expected a little bit more from Riddle, to be honest. I didn't expect him to win, but I thought he might put up a bit more of a fight.
I think it kind of shows his position in the company because they never trust him. They've kind of tentatively tried him as like a top guy, and either in ring or reasons outside of the ring that kind of let him down.
I remember watching an NXT show when like he was sat in the crowd, because they used to do that all the time, and when they bring a new star in, you'd find him sat in the crowd on a suit, and they made it out like Riddle was going to be a big deal, like, and something's just not quite worked. He's had highlights. His partnership with Randy Orton probably being the best bit. It was always entertaining.
That's maybe what they're waiting for.
Yeah.
Rumours are that Randy's now ready to come back. So maybe there's a story there.
I think it would be good if he came back to like fake a team up with Riddle and then turn it on him, and we get a little bit of heel on, because Orton's not got a lot of career left. So
he needs to do some less stuff with Riddle for left.
One last heel run could be good.
Moral of the story: Gunther rules.
Yeah. What do you reckon about the Drew match?
It's going to be a good match. Drew's just.
You really don't like baby faces.
No, it's not. Well,
it is.
WWE baby faces are losers. Name me a WWE baby face that's not a loser. It's few and far between.
Usos, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, John Cena.
Johnson. He was a loser for his whole run, pretty much. No one liked him.
Shayna Baszler, she's definitely a babyface now.
Really?
We'll get to that.
Anyway, moving on to the women's tag match. It was all going so well. It looked like Ronda and Shayna were going to retain their titles. Shayna Baszler was about to lay the smackdown on Liv Morgan.
Ronda Rousey was about to.
Oh, yeah, Ronda Rousey was. And then Shayna Baszler laid the smackdown on Ronda Rousey.
An out of nowhere turn, completely blindsided everybody.
There was no lead up to it at all.
But I am all for it. The story's coming out that Ronda Rousey's not a lot left with WWE, and Ronda Shayna, big money match at SummerSlam.
Yeah,
should be a secret, like, great match. Like, people, I don't know if people can expect a lot, but if NXT Shayna turns up and Ronda Rousey that cares shows up,
yeah,
we could have a great match.
It could be really good. The promo that Shayna did on Raw wasn't great.
I thought it was pretty good. I thought it added a lot of energy to the
Bronson Reed promo on Raw. Oh my god. That's fucking awful. But yeah, I mean, it was quite generic, but we'll let them have it.
And then obviously Liv and Rodriguez get their title back that they never lost.
Yeah.
Which is, in a way, the right result.
I think what they've got to do, if it's true that Ronda's leaving, is you've got to have Shayna squash Ronda in like a really dominant match, and then you've got Shayna built up for whatever she goes on to do.
I don't want a squash though. I want
not like a couple of seconds squash, like a really dominant win over her. Competitive but dominant.
Yeah. I think they should maybe make it a no holds barred. Like, they're trying to, because obviously they've both got, well, they play up to the UFC kind of stuff. They really need to go to a hard hitting, like they're trying to knock each other out kind of. Last woman standing match would be great. Just throw whatever they've got at it and make Shayna look strong. There's a few women in the title scene at the minute, and I think adding Shayna back to it in a dominant persona could be important.
Yeah, not much to say really about the next match. Cody Rhodes against Dirty Dom now, as he has officially changed his name to Dirty Dominic Mysterio.
When you say the full name, it sounds stupid, but Dirty Dom sounds
a bit stupid, but yeah, we'll go with it. Like I say, fair enough match.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone expecting anything more.
It felt a bit house showy.
It was an inevitability that Cody Rhodes was going to win, but the crowd was super into it, especially in Cody's entrance.
Yeah, it was a loud crowd.
Singing the entire song.
Should be world champion.
But we wouldn't get kind of storylines like this, and I would like.
We would. You could have done this entire story with him.
Dominic Mysterio over challenging for the undisputed WWE title,
Didn't have to be for the title.
then
The title wasn't defended on this card as it was.
would be in that horrible position. Like, if Cody had won it, this would have had to have been a title feud, and I've enjoyed the build-up to this match. Whether the match
It's more so for the other story that's come off the back of that WrestleMania event that you don't need the title for, but that's another argument for another day. Let's talk about a world title in inverted commas, the bronze medal, the World Heavyweight Championship.
I don't think you need
versus Finn.
I don't think you need inverted commas for something called the World Heavyweight Championship, but well,
Yeah, it's the toy belt that no one particularly wants. Not even Cody. He very quickly, he was sort of there on Monday and then very quickly not there on Monday again.
he said that he would love to challenge for the title, but he still has his heart set on the one his dad didn't win, which is fair enough, because his dad did win the World Heavyweight Championship, I think. I think he won the WCW one. He never won the WWE. I don't know. I could be getting that completely wrong.
What do you think of this match?
I wish the ending had been slightly different.
How so?
So the match was great. Damien Priest came out, which was a really interesting little. I'm like, is he going to cash in on Finn? Is he going to make this a triple threat? I think Finn should have won. A lot of people are like, oh, Seth Rollins needs to hold this belt for a while. No, now would have been the perfect time for him to drop it. We do not need another year-long title reign in WWE for a while. So if this changes hands a couple of times this year, that would be all for the better. And then I really think you can sell that Judgment Day distrust and starting to be unsure about each other a lot better. If they weren't going to do that, I wish like the match had just gone just a little bit longer. I wish Damien Priest hadn't stood up. The same spot with Damien Priest still sat there. He doesn't move, but Finn just kind of won't stop staring at him to show that kind of distrust. Would have worked way better. I think him standing up took away from the impact that that story has.
Yeah, it's another match. Don't really have much to say about it, to be fair. It's like you kind of expect. It was kind of like bare minimum. It sounds quite cruel saying that, but like it wasn't anything special from these two.
It was a B pay-per-view style match. It was they weren't trying to bring their best, so they were going for passable to good. Like you don't want to get injured just before SummerSlam.
I guess not. No. Before we get to the main event, there was something else big that happened. John Cena's surprise return and teasing WrestleMania in London.
Yes.
Could it happen?
I don't think Cena would have come out on the pay-per-view, PLE, if it wasn't in discussion.
It must have been talked about earlier.
There's no way that Cena's just walked in and go, I'm going to go out and say this, and then okay.
Vince McMahon flipping his lid when he gets back.
There's been reports from the BBC that MPs
it's always weird when mainstream media get involved in wrestling.
What I think is really funny is the amount of people on that will comment on that, saying that surely MPs have better things to do than this. It's like, what? Like, try and bolster the economy? Like, come on.
Kind of their job.
It brings millions of dollars of revenue to wherever it visits in America. Like, it would do good for London. The amount of people that descend on the city. If it does happen, I will sell my kidney to go if I have to. I'm going to do WrestleMania London.
Oh yeah, for sure. I was saying that I really want. It looks like it's going to be 2026 earliest that it could be, because they've got the venues booked already up until then. I hope it's kind of a little bit later for a start, because we can get saving. But I'd also like my first WrestleMania to be in America, because I feel like that adds to it a bit. You have your trip over to the States.
Yeah. Take a trip down to London, stay a few nights.
I know. How many times have we been to London?
How many times we've stayed at night? Almost never.
Stayed a couple of times for birthdays, or they did, I think.
I said almost never.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, we'll see. Grayson Waller was great in this segment, though. It was the first time that he's been the Grayson Waller from NXT and not just a weird TV host.
I think he's got to be coming back, getting soon to coming back, because they allowed him to take a bump
Yeah, and he did that weird taunt thing on his knees as well. So his leg must be healed. But yeah, he was really good.
And for once, they're putting a heel in a spot with John Cena where the heel doesn't come away from it looking trash.
Yes.
Like, he held his own pretty well on the mic. Like,
Agreed.
it's difficult to hold your own against Cena, especially now. But he didn't look destroyed, which was a worry that could have happened.
And now, it's time for a main event. So, Bloodline Civil War. Slow burner at the beginning.
Yeah, very
Typical
so. Lot of crowd work by Roman.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
You talked at the beginning about the British crowd maybe being a bit too much, a bit too obnoxious, but I think for this match especially, the Roman knew what was going to happen. He was ready for it. He played up against it brilliantly. The stand-up "if you hate Roman" chant followed by him just sitting on the apron and throwing a mini tantrum was peak sports entertainment.
There was a thing that I saw online, the Cobblers, Northampton's foot club, for our millions of listeners. They do this thing where they go shoes up if you love the town. You take your shoe off and you put it in the air.
Yeah.
And there was a clip at the O2 of a certain section doing that. I was like, that's very cool. I just don't like football chants in wrestling. I think it's just really cringy.
I don't know. I feel like
Stand up if you hate Romans, fine. But there was like the West Ham one where they do the just sold your car and stuff. Shut up. Get dweebs.
I think it might be a bit excessive, but I think it made the atmosphere.
So, one big spot in this, the Spike Spear, Solo and Roman, Stack'em, whatever it's called. What's he called it? Something Stack'em.
Stack 'em, pin 'em, something I can't remember what his trilogy is, but
Pick it, lick it, roll it, flick it, whatever it is. Anyway.
And then kick out of it. No.
At the same time, they got me on that one.
Yeah.
From a wrestling trope, but they got me. But, yeah. I mean, I really thought they were going to lose in that moment, but yeah. Well done. They got me.
Yeah.
And then...
Right, got Roman, he looked like he's about to cry.
And he's Oscar worthy.
Nah, I don't know about Oscar worthy.
Films anyway.
It's in the WWE, some of the best acting we've seen in a while, but for acting wise, it's good. It's what you expect. Yeah. It's a little bit over the top, but you kind of need it to be.
What I really liked afterwards was that Reigns was in shock, didn't know what to do, and it was Solo that was like, come on, let's get back on him, get back on him. I thought that was really good storytelling, and it leads into the next little fold of the story there.
For a moment, I thought we were going to see Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens again, because they were referenced, they were up in the stadium, and I thought when they did the ref bump that they might make an appearance. I'm glad they didn't. I think it works better without them, but just for I was like,
we got to talk about the ref bump as well, because it was probably one of the best ref bumps I've seen in a while. It looked like his cock got obliterated by that road. That noise was like, ah!
Yeah, that was a proper scream.
That was a good one. And then we got the finish, the typical Uso finish: super kicks into the Uso splash, and Jey Uso, for the first time in 3 years, someone has pinned Roman Reigns. And Jey Uso was the man to do it.
Yeah, it really brings a nice, neat bow on that storyline that began with Jey in the main event. Jey Uso form the bloodline and finally break it apart.
Fair play to him.
I feel like we're going to get the singles match at SummerSlam.
It's got to be though. Yeah, it has to be.
I've seen a lot of people were not happy that Roman's taken the pin, including people backstage at WWE saying he should have remained unpinned until he lost the title, which I think there is an argument for.
I think it's the right way that I've done it.
But yeah, you get 2 payoffs now, right? Yeah. As long as taking a pinfall doesn't become a common occurrence for Roman,
no, it won't.
Then it's not a problem.
He doesn't have enough matches for it to become common.
We're almost how many he's 3 months out of Mania now, and Roman hasn't defended that title
There you go.
since Mania.
That'd be SummerSlam. I bet. Do you reckon he defends it?
Surely he has to defend it at SummerSlam. If he doesn't, like,
Does Jey Uso win it at SummerSlam?
well, that's the question. But if it's not on the line, like the argument of Roman needing to break 1,000 days by WWE becomes less of a thing the longer he goes without defending it.
He just can't help himself, though, can they? The closer they get to
Actually, I think he defended the house show against Rey Mysterio, which doesn't count.
Place Rey Mysterio good win.
It's also it's not televised.
No. This Friday on SmackDown, we've got the trial of Roman Reigns.
I'm pretty pumped for
I
that.
can't wait for that. Do we finally get Rikishi coming out?
Maybe. I can't believe we've got to this point of story and he hasn't made an appearance, especially with his sons fighting.
I feel like there's got to be like some elders of their family that come out. It'd be awesome.
What if we're getting The Rock at SummerSlam? Like, Madison Square Garden is a big deal for the WWE after all.
We'll have to wait and see. Rating out of 5?
7.
7. Aiden, rating out of 5 for Money in the Bank?
5. I really enjoyed this one.
Thought it was good, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. I'd probably give it like a 4.
Yeah.
4 out of 5. Not perfect. A couple of bits that annoyed me, like Shayna. Drew.
It's probably one of the ones that I enjoyed more
Yeah.
than the others, to be fair.
On at a normal time as well, which also helps.
Yeah.
Not being on the middle of the night.
I think as a real one, instead of the joke, 7 out of 5. I think a 4 out of 5 is good. I think they've had shows that have delivered just a little bit more for me personally.
I've
But
heard people saying, is it show of the year? And I think it's between WrestleMania Night 1 and this for show of the year so far. I don't know which way I'd go on it. Anyway, that's Money in the Bank.
we're about halfway through our predictions of WWE 2023. We tied Money in the Bank 4 apiece. I'm still 6 ahead. How has your mind started to drift to that fake tan at the end of the year yet?
Looking forward to it if I do get it. The first time I'm not as pale as a milk box. It'll be good. Can sort out these tan lines.
Can you get it before Spain?
This will be December.
You can get one before Spain if you want. It's, you know.
For the rest of them, just for the sake of it.
Oh god. Speedos and a fake tan. Look great.
On
Go
that
to the gym.
mental image
With all the old ladies round.
owns
Pamela.
there's a host of figure forecasts in Speedos with a fake tan. I think that is the perfect point to wrap up. New socials this time. I'm going to have to record a new outro because
The Threads.
we're now on Thread for whatever length of time this exists. So we'll play those shortly.
Thank you for listening.
Say bye, Aiden.
Later.